So here we go. They now let the competitors for the second qualifying heat, that's groups B and C. Let's run you through the grid for heat number 2 here in Belgium. On pole position, it's the number 399 of Madrid, with Robert de Haan alongside number 321. Then it's Kai Rielerts, Mike van Voogd on the second row. Then it's Danny van Dijk, Wilgot Edquist, row 3. Jerzy Spinkiewicz and Thomas Martens on row 4. James Wharton, Guilherme de Oliveira, row 5. Ollie Pilka, Herbert Andreas, Linus Henson, Jules Castro, Kotaro Murai, Moritz Schmeiss, Mats Stemmerdink, Jenry Fixker, Victor Oberjanek, Philip Yannick, Roderick Picker, Zen Rudenberg, Oskari Soka, Bart de Wit, Paul Trusheim, Arthur Rojon, and Ralph Winkel at the end. So starting from 27th, obviously Ralph Winkel was excluded post-qualifying. So now for the second heat in succession, the number 373 from the Netherlands starts from 27th and last place. So pole position, which is normally on the right-hand side of the tram lines when we go racing, will give that person probably the track advantage going into turn number 1. But we've seen it before that you might have the advantage going into turn 1, but you may not have it coming out of turn number 2. And then going into the sweeping double right-hander at 3 and 4, it's very difficult to say what's going to happen. But looks like the field is now starting to bunch up ahead of another rolling start here in Belgium. So top 10, it's Ries from de Haan, Rielerts from Van Voogd, Van Dijk from Edquist, Spinkiewicz from Martens, and Wharton and de Oliveira rounding out the top 10. So red lights are on the starting gantry, ready to get this second Junior Max qualifying heat of the day underway. Red lights are out and we are away, and it looks like Madrid has got the whole shot going into turn number 1 for the first time. It's 3 wide coming through, and there's a couple of spinners off at the back of the pack. So that's 3 that didn't make it through the end of turn 1 but have now started to rejoin, whereas 1 has actually just parked it on the infield. So one of our Junior Max competitors now already an early casualty, as we've got battles nearly 3-4 wide going into the approach on turn 6 here at Genk. It's an impressive facility, and I can't really tell where people are going to make overtaking manoeuvres, especially in this category as well, as we see some good moves up the inside into turn number 9. And there is an absolute swarm of Junior Max drivers coming through into turn number 11. So Ries leads from Rielerts from de Haan. Van Voogd now up into 4th place. Well, that's where he started from. Edquist now up into 5th. Van Dijk down into 6th position ahead of Spinkiewicz in the 325, now 7th. Soka was one of those that lost out. Oskari Soka in 23rd. Rojon was also Arthur Rojon, who's currently, well, he was way down the order. I'm just wondering who has parked it. Trusheim now showing up into 25th, well, actually started there. Winkel, in the meantime, has launched himself up the order, up into 17th already. So it's Madrid leading, but I don't think he's going to have that lead for long, because it looks like de Haan is on his back bumper and charging. And it's Ries. It's Ries still leading by just over 0.2 of a second. But de Haan is challenging and pressurizing. And behind them, it's Rielerts and Van Voogd, who are also battling as well. This is an urgent paddock call for Tom Darcy, 260 Senior Max. That's Tom Darcy, 260 Senior Max. You need to go to Stewards immediately. Thank you. That's Tom Darcy, Senior Max competitor number 260, up to the steward's office immediately. Thank you. Meanwhile, as the action is unabated here in Genk, there looked to be a coming together, going down the back straight, heading into turn number 6. Meanwhile, it is fast approaching that we're going to have a four-way scrap for the lead of this race. And you can't tell them apart at the moment. Rees is still ahead of De Haan. Ralitz is still in, well, Van Vogt now up into third position. And it looks like there's been a change for the lead. De Haan has taken Rees into turn number 1. And as I said earlier, you might have the advantage heading into turn 1, but will you take the lead coming out of it? So I'm wondering if Danny van Dijk is one of those guys that has also been involved in the wars. He's showing way down the order in 25th position. So there has been a change for the lead. So Mads Rees has lost out to Robert De Haan as well. And it looks like Rees is now coming under attack from Mike Van Vogt in third place. Rillaerts is still there, so it's still a four-way battle at the front of this field. It could fast see that Edqvist in the 331 is closing. He was actually he was a tenth and a half quicker than the 374 last time around. But De Haan is coming under pressure from Rees, now going into turn number 4. Now it's putting the anchors on, turning it right, getting the apex nailed as well as possible, getting the momentum out of that corner. And looks like Rees has got the slipstream going down into turn number 6. But De Haan blocks off the door quite nicely there. Now turn 7, through into the 90-degree left-hander at turn number 8. And then it's a short blast up to turn 9. James Wharton, in the meantime, has made some moves of his own. He's now up into 6th position, is the 313. So leaders now come around the final corner, and Van Vogt has gone up the inside of Rees for second position. And that's lap number 6 completed. Well, we're now on to lap 6, so great moving by Mike Van Vogt from Holland to go up into second position. But De Haan is still trying to lead away from this. It was 0.4 of a second when they crossed the line last time out. And, oh, we've got more dramas down the field. And that's a very frustrated driver coming out of and being swept around the outside by other competitors. I couldn't really see the number from my on the side pod from my commentary position. Oh, and there's more contact going into turn number 8. And there's one there. That was Nassau plate against side pod there. So I'm sure that the stewards will have a lot on their plate after this particular race. Meanwhile, the leaders come across the start-finish line. 5-second penalty. 5-second penalty for numbers 3. That's Henson in 14th. And 369 as well. That's Obajanek as well. So could that be through excessive contact? So those guys will find themselves a little bit further down the order. Meanwhile, the battle at the front is still continuing. It's De Haan from Van Vogt. Rees in 3rd. Rillaerts in 4th position. And Van Vogt is the fastest one out there. Last time around did the fastest lap of the race of 56.587. They're now coming through turn 9, round the left-hander into turn number 10. And now it's the... this is a part of the track I really like, as De Haan is trying to get away from everybody else. And it looks like Van Vogt has actually taken the lead. And there's a retake back, a switch back. I think that was done by De Haan on Van Vogt, or is it the other way round? Yeah, De Haan's back in the lead of the race. So the next time they come around, it will be this one and an additional lap. So that was very clean overtaking by the guys at the front. But meanwhile, I think a little bit further down the order, there has been more than just a few bits of drama, let's say. So leaders come through, and let's just keep an eye on this battle for a moment. And leading it is De Haan from Van Vogt. Rees in third place. Relax is still in touching distance. So, last lap. Now it's going to be a time of seeing who wants it the most. Is it going to be De Haan? Is it going to be Van Vogt? We'll find out, but don't count out Rees and Relax in this late stage. It's the final lap and anything can happen. And most certainly it normally does. They come through turn 4, now into the approach into the hairpin at turn number 5. And it's a stern defence. But it's side by side. Rees now goes up into second position. And whoever was in second, I think that was Van Vogt, who's lost out, goes down into third place. Heading into turn number 6, a little bit further down the order, there are changes for position. Round the outside, going into turn number 6. Whoever did that, that was brazen, its very best. So now it's a case of, now it looks like De Haan is really putting up a fight here against Rees as Rees loses out to Van Vogt in the process, going through. So now they come around the final couple of corners. That was very, very nip and tuck, and it looks like Rees is going to try and go for the toe. He won't quite make it on Van Vogt, but De Haan knows he's got it. De Haan takes the win here. And the top 3 were separated by 5 thousandths, under a tenth of a second. That's how close it was. Incredible battling. The top 4 separated by 2 tenths at the end. It was De Haan from Van Vogt, from Rees, from Edqvist. Wharton made it up into the top 5 as well, so well done by the Australian. Realize lost out and ended up in 6th place when it was all said and done. Martins down in 7th. Castro in 8th position. Herbert Andreas down in 9th with, I tell you what, Ralph Winkel, another great performance from the youngster. From 27th to complete the top 10, finishing 4 seconds off the leaders at the end of it all. So, when it was all said and done, it was Robert De Haan from the Netherlands that did an incredible job, narrowly beating both Mike Van Vogt from the Netherlands and Mads Rees, who tried to get the toe past Van Vogt going on to the start-finish straight, but it was too late. Wilgot Edqvist rounded out the top 4. And I have to say, James Wharton started 9th and finished in 5th. And of course, we had Oscar Isoka and Arthur Rogion, who ended up not completing the race. And I think the other driver that was involved might have been Guilherme de Oliveira. But I'm not too sure on that one. But